and welcome back to another video today here with another car pass car to test out. So previously here on Forza Horizon 5 we've tested the Subaru, the Renault 8 Gordini, the Cyclone Spoiler, the J50 and the Monza. This week we have something a bit older, the Lamborghini Espada 400 GT from 1973. So it is newer than the Gordini and the Cyclone Spoiler, but yeah, older than everything else, especially as we've had brand new Ferraris the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's a 350 horsepower V12 car, although rather worryingly, when I opened Car Pass, it landed me on the Monza, so that tells me, for whatever reason, it's done the thing where I can't claim this yet. Okay, let me restart my game to remind Forza which day it is. Okay, now that we've loaded back in, let's see if Forza knows what day it is. This is a wonderful game. Right, here we are back in the game again, and I can tell it's on the right season because it's ticked over to the new winter challenges. So that happens at the same time as the new car being released, we know this. Okay, what I'm going to try this time is just, well, restarting the console. Okay, so restarting the console did it, basically. So yeah, it only took, well, 15 minutes of recording. It's been out for nearly half an hour now, this car. Anyway, let's pick a colour, and then I'll go over all the stats and info I was trying to go over before I realised we couldn't pick the car up yet. So, we've got black, red, what looks like brown, but is actually, from some angles, red, but it's too close to being brown. Oh, and then you've got, like, really brown, and then we've got beige, and then we've got, that's not actually that bad, it looks kind of like mouldy green in the menu. The blue is quite cool. That just works well on this era of car, I think, the white. I do actually really like that. I do really like that. I'm going to go with that for now, and we'll change the colour up a bit later. We'll head out and see how it performs from stock before we start messing about. So, yes, the Lamborghini Espada is a 4-seat GT car, produced for 10 years between 1968 and 1978, has a 3.9-litre V12 engine up there, like, well, most Lamborghinis have big V12s, a 5-speed manual or a 3-speed auto. I'm guessing this will be a 5-speed, it does look like a manual, and, well, it's a big boot, 4 seats, would be 4 usable seats. I mean, look, there's room for actual people with legs there. That is very unusual. And then this is all very, that looks like a 5-speed manual to me. But yeah, this is all very old-fashioned, which kind of makes sense. Right, let's see what it's actually like. So, we've got 350 horsepower, it weighs 1600 kilos, being a big, it's not actually bad for a big thing like this with 4 seats and a big boot and a massive heavy engine. 350 horsepower. This is of course quite similar to that really cool Lamborghini concept that had the sort of glass lower doors. But it's that kind of era, big 70s Grand Tourer. It doesn't actually drive too badly, handles okay, has decent amounts of power. What class are we seeing in? So we're C-Class 597, and you might remember last time we checked a car pass car last week, I said I was going to start running them around my custom street circuit, just to give us a rough comparison of what they're like stock and what they're like after I've upgraded them to an class. So, as this is still stock, I think we should go and run it and see where it, well, I kind of know where it's going to be. It's going to be below the Ferraris and the Subaru, but above the Renault Gordini. I haven't actually run everything around here yet, but yeah, let's go and do a lap with the Espada and see how it stacks up against the other stuff that I've run around the circuit. So far, the only car I haven't taken round here is the muscle car we got in the car pass. But we've got the two Ferraris, the Subaru and the Renault 8, so I'm expecting this to fall between the Subaru's 104.9 and the Renault 8's 113.9. Okay, here we go. This blueprint is still glitched to show weird percentages, so for whatever reason it always does that, however many times I try and make it, so our only option is to do this one lap without having to load in again, which takes hours. So we'll do this and then we'll come back once I've built it to see where it sits. Yeah, you can definitely feel the weight, which is one of the good things about this being a twisty circuit. You really can tell if a car is struggling in the corners. I think we're going to be first round that. Getting the power down up the hill is not particularly happy. So I'm pretty sure the time I was taking was the lap time rather than the total time, because you start just before the marker. So we ignore the 113 because that's the overall time, and we wait for the leaderboard to show us what it actually did and whether it is indeed between. It is 1:10.2 is its time. The 113 would put it nearly as slow as the Renault, which wouldn't be good. But 1:10.2 means it's, well, more than 3 seconds faster than the Renault, which is kind of what we would hope, and quite a lot slower than the Subaru, which does make sense. Anyway, let's go back to the festival, do some upgrades, quick bit of customization, and then come back and see how it performs around the circuit again. I've only got one upgraded car on the board so far, so not really got anything to compare it to, but it'll still be interesting to see how fast it'll go once it's been upgraded. So, back at the festival, let's see what upgrades are available first. Starting by seeing what engine swaps are available. I'm not necessarily going to want to do this. 5.2 V12, 5.2 V10. So I'm guessing these are all Lamborghini engines. 6.5 V12, racing V12. So most of them are V12s, which I suppose could be worse. We need to decide what to build it to. Probably not C, because it's already at the top of C. So I think we'll probably be looking at B class here. So I'll leave standard engine for now and see how well we can, or how far we can get it without changing that. Probably won't do all-wheel drive, but it's usually an option. Got your twin turbos and your supercharger. Twin turbos might be useful. In terms of aero, we've got a sort of usual splitter, and I'm guessing the old style aero. We've actually got two options. That's actually quite interesting. And it reduces the PI. I'm not sure what I think about that. It's better than looking than the normal one. So maybe we'll go with that, and maybe if we're doing that we put some front aero on as well. That'll help with the handling a bit if we're not going all-wheel drive. Tyres, if I'm going to B, I probably don't want slicks, do I? So maybe we go semi-slicks. I always end up building it as quite a grippy sort of thing. No, because then it's A already. Okay, I'm going to go with sport tyres. Full width sport tyres, I think, because otherwise it's immediately at the top of the class. I will bring these out because it looks slightly better. It's not necessarily a good option, but yeah, let's go with that. We'll leave the wheels alone, they're kind of cool. I should probably do a gearbox so we can tune the gears a little bit. Let's go with the race transmission. I'll leave the rest alone for now. We probably want some brakes because it's quite... I probably want a bit of weight reduction, actually. It is quite a heavy thing. We won't go full... Yeah, I might only be able to get away with that if I want good brakes. These get in with no PI gain. What about suspension? Can we drop it onto... Yeah, okay, we'll drop it onto race. Partly because that does look better, but it will also hopefully handle a bit better. What about power? Can we squeeze a little bit of power in? 8 horsepower there. Nothing there. No, 701. Not that. What about a driveline? Get that one in. Get away with it. No. Oh, wait. Okay, we can get a race diff. Okay, so we've gained 5 horsepower and lost some weight. But that's not... I mean, we've got tyres, we've got aero, so the grip will be better as well. But yeah, it's the first upgraded B-class vehicle I've taken round, because a lot of them, by the time I came back to do the laps, I'd taken the upgrades off, so I wouldn't have been able to upgrade them the same, but I'll potentially do upgraded laps in some of the others. But yeah, like I say, nothing to compare it to. But anyway, now for the important bit, the paint. Okay, so here we are loading up for the same street circuit again to see how it performs with that quick build I threw on it to the top of B-class. I've gone for the blue, which was the other manufacturer colour I quite liked. But yeah, it's a B-class 700. The only upgraded car I've taken around here is an S1 class Ferrari Monza, which was actually slower than the stock Ferrari Monza. So hopefully this will be faster than a standard Espada. So it's a 1:10.2 we did in the standard car. Let's see how much quicker it is. And, well, it's going to be quite a long way off the 56.8 set by the upgraded Monza. But let's see how close, or how much we can beat the 1:10.2 of the stock Espada by. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what our B-class Lamborghini can do. So I think, I have kept it rear-wheel drive, so I think generally as a rule with these I'll try and keep the standard engine and the standard drivetrain. Okay, the turn into the corners is so much better. I mean, it is a whole class higher, basically. It's got good grip, actually. I can imagine this being reasonable. I think what I need to do is I need to take a few non-car pass cars around, just so that we've got some cars on the leaderboard, so it gives us more of an idea where things sit in comparison to other things. So I'll take a few cars that I've got built around before next time, I think. Because then at least there'll be something in each class as a benchmark time. Because I've no idea whether that's any good or not. Especially as it's a custom route that I've built, so we've no idea on leaderboards what is a good time. But yeah, it's a 1036. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how future vehicles stack up against that. So, there we go, that's the Lamborghini Espada. It's second on the upgraded leaderboard, which isn't a surprise, the only other car being S1, and it's fourth on the stock vehicle leaderboard, just below the B-Class Subaru and just above the D-Class Renault, which makes sense, only C-Class vehicle to have gone round so far. So, I think what I will do before next week's Car Pass car is just take 2 or 3 vehicles around, maybe pick a car from each class stock and each class upgraded, just so that we've got a benchmark time for any future cars that are added before we get some more on the leaderboard. But yeah, it drives actually really nicely with this. Somehow I've managed. I haven't tuned the gears. I think that might need working on because they're quite long. But the turning and handling, I mean, it's got aero on it. The turning and handling with the aero and slight weight reduction is so much better than the stock one, which makes sense. This actually isn't too bad to drive like this. But yeah, I do love this car actually. I was looking forward to this more than either of those Ferraris we had the last 2 weeks. I think this is just cooler. I mean, those are limited edition and fast and everything, but in the end they're based on existing Ferraris. This I like. It's something new, something different. And yeah, I kind of look forward to driving the Huracan Evo, I guess. See how much better than a normal Huracan it is. That is, of course, next week's car. But yeah, you all know I'm not a massive fan of that. But yeah, this is my favourite one so far of these new Car Pass cars. I did quite like the Subaru and the Renault 8 before. But yeah, Huracan Evo next week, and then we're on to the Jags, which I am very much looking forward to. But yeah, for now, for a first look at the Lamborghini Espada, with our new kind of format of video with the stock and upgraded lap times, I think that is going to do it for a first look at this car. So thank you very much for watching. Do let me know if you've enjoyed this kind of format of lapping them around the circuit and putting together a leaderboard, more than just a sort of drive in a stock and upgraded version of the car. But yeah, go and pick up the Espada if you haven't already. If you have enjoyed this video and you aren't already subscribed, please consider doing so. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon.